Hi, everybody. It's Kim, and today we're going to talk about building foundations for your business. So, we're going to talk about 5 different ways that you need to look at your business and make sure that you have a really solid foundation in place. Okay. Building a real estate business foundation that supports real sustainable growth, it comes from systems, it comes from a mindset, it comes from your marketing, your client management, and all of that. So, we're going to go into each one and break it down for you.
Welcome to the Unstoppable Real Estate Agents Podcast. I'm your host and real estate productivity expert, Kim Hughes. Join me as we focus on real strategies and implement real solutions designed for you to achieve major success in your business and life while getting you organized.
So let's start with systems, okay? You know I'm a systems girl. I'm always going to talk about your systems because the better systems you have in place, the more successful you're going to be. And I don't mean success by monetary value. I mean it by mental, your physical, and your financial, okay? So we're covering all of that when I'm talking about building a substantial good, solid business that's going to help you grow and be successful. So the first thing we're going to talk about is your CRM, and we want to make sure that you look at the CRM as a hub. You know, this is where everything in your business should go. I have a hub, and so anything I need, I go to my hub, right? So I'm going to say your CRM should be your hub, and then you should have like a Dropbox folder, a Google Drive, a Trello board, a Notion, whatever is going to work for you. And this is where you're going to keep your SOPs and everything. So 2 things that you need is a really good, strong CRM. And then another thing that you need is one of the things that all of these are free, except for Dropbox. You have to pay for that. But you could put this on Google Drive or anything. And you already have that probably. So use what you have. Don't go out and buy more. Okay. Just because I mention a program doesn't mean that that's going to make a difference in your life. It just means that's an opportunity to go look at something that maybe you haven't already looked at. So once you have your CRM and everything is in there, all of your leads, all of your database, your past clients, your current, your listings and everything, once that's in there, then you have to determine what is it that you're going to do with these people. So if you want to send a monthly newsletter, a monthly postcard, a phone call, text message, show up at their door with a pop by, whatever that is going to be consistent with it, right? So one of the things that you might find that helps you to be consistent is to create your monthly calendar of what you're going to do. So I have clients that will start in November and December planning out the next year of their marketing strategy, which is excellent because that already gives you a heads up and you're ahead of everybody else. So go there and do that if that is something that you can commit to and sit down for a couple of hours and just look at what are you going to do for your marketing to your past clients and then to generate new leads. Doesn't have to cost you any money. It just is things that you already have. You have social media, you have a phone, you have a database. Tap into those and let's get these appointments on the books. And then reach out to these people, see how they're doing. What are you going to do to market? Are you going to send a text message on January 1st that says Happy New Year's? I hope you are. And then in February, what are you going to do? Every month, you should be doing something to touch your database. And then once you have done that, then you need to go in and look at your processes. So your listing process, your transaction process, what is your daily routine? What do you need to do on a monthly basis? You've heard me talk about this, that every Sunday you should sit down with your calendar and look at the entire month, every week and see what's coming up. Then go to your week and then put in all of your personal things that you need to do. So if you have children, you have appointments, doctor's appointments, games, pick up from school, drop them off, go have lunch with your kid, whatever that may be. And then what is it that you and your husband are doing? Are you and your spouse, I should say. So it could be date night. You get together with friends once a month. You could, what is it that you're doing? And then after you have put all of that down on a calendar, then you look at what do I need to do? So you may have a doctor's appointment. You may have a massage schedule. Put that down because that's what needs to be on the calendar first. Everything personal. Then you bring in the business and then you put that business where it fits. Okay. Now, of course, we know things come up at the last minute. You have to run and jump out, jump off of what you're currently doing to go show a house, or a phone call comes in and one of the houses that you have listed, the water line breaks. Whatever that may be, you are always going to have things happen. But we want to allocate so that that time is not just a frenzy, right? So if something did happen, who can you call to pick up the kids from school? Because that falls in that timeline. Who do you call to get to the house to get ready to fix that water line? So what is it that you can do while you're trying to shuffle things around because of an appointment or something you have already committed to? I know that sounds like it's small, but it's huge because it affects your mental space when you are cluttering it up with things and then you don't have a plan. So I always say, okay, if an emergency comes up, I can call my husband to pick up the kids. I can call my next door neighbor to pick up the kids. Who can help me if something happens? What's plan B and what's plan C, right? Okay. If you have a massage scheduled, you're just going to have to cancel the massage or keep the massage and move the appointment with the showing. In my head, I would say keep the massage because you need it. And then you kind of plan out your week from there and your month. So doing this either weekly or monthly or quarterly will be beneficial. I'm always going to say plan out your year, plan out your quarters, plan out your month, and then your weeks. And that's going to give you that peace of mind. And then get it all ready. So, you don't have to do everything every day, every week, every month. You can schedule things out. So if you're sending out birthday cards, 25th of the month, you're looking at the next month. Whose birthday's next month that I need to send a birthday card to? Get those birthday cards ready, put them in the mail, either weekly or all at once, on the first of each. I mean, not the first, because some people have birthdays on the first. So I would say if you're sitting down on the 25th, the 27th, you're mailing your birthday cards and they go out and they get there on time. And they may be early, but it's better early than not at all. Now, what you can also do is after you put all of this in place, you're probably sitting there going, well, how do I know what's going to happen in 3 months or in 6 months in my life? You can tweak it. Always tweaking. You can say, first quarter, this went great. This did not work. I didn't have time for this. So then the second quarter, you know what to tweak to make it run smoother. And you're always going to be tweaking your systems, your processes, your routines, your habits, everything. So just make sure you open up yourself for that. It doesn't have to be set in stone. It's more of a guideline. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is marketing. Now, you may be that person that loves to market with a shoestring budget, and that's okay because you can do things that don't even cost money. So you can make a phone call, send a text message, you can jump on social media and talk to them through that. You can send out emails. You can send out your newsletter. These are the things that you have probably already paid for your e-marketing program. So use it, put that to use, send out a monthly newsletter. And, if you need help on creating that newsletter, I'll put a link below so that you can go watch another video on how to do that. And that, if you do it the right way, a newsletter can be fabulous. Now, if you're taking your franchise or your brokerage newsletter and you're sending that, I wouldn't do that. There's no connection with that. It looks like canned material. But here's what you can do. You can take that article that your brokerage or franchise is giving you, and you can take it and go put it in your own email marketing and tweak the article to be more personal and more market, driven. Okay. So don't think you have to recreate the wheel. Just take what you got and tweak it to where it's more personal and to your market. Okay. And then, you don't have to spend a huge amount of money. You can go get MailChimp for very inexpensive. And then if you don't have someone helping you, then it won't take you that long. It may be a couple of hours to set up your template, and then you create your articles and you drop them in there and you get your database in there. It's very easy to do, but it's one of those things, if you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to do it. So just go look at videos, go to the company and ask them if they can help you put this together, meaning the email marketing program. Or you can always reach out to us and we're happy to help you. That's one of the things that we do is we help our agents with their marketing. And so I just want you to be very focused on what you're doing, okay? And monitoring the return of investment that you're getting from that marketing, okay? If you're looking for ways to generate leads, one thing that I've talked about many a times is picking a farm area and just go after it. Create you a postcard campaign, door knocking campaign to get their names, to get their phone numbers, to get their email addresses, to give them something of value. So when they give you that information, you want to return it with something of value, right? So be very appreciative to that. But at the same time, you can get this information. If nowhere else, go into your tax roll and pull the database from that particular farm area, clean it up, and then put your strategy in place. That's super easy. That's free. Tax roll, you can get that information for free. If your MLS offers that. So those are the things that we're talking about is where can you tap into and do better than what you have been doing, but make sure that it has a return of investment.
Get ready to transform your life and your bottom line by turning expired listings into money in the bank while building your listing inventory. And we have done it all for you. Let me introduce you to the ultimate expired listing system. We have worked on this for 25 years and we have perfected it to show that this system is proven to bring you listings. In this course, you will get 7 video lessons on how to create a step-by-step system. You will get 10 postcards with a specific message or a call of action, 10 email sequences designed for the seller, 10 letters that will attract the seller's attention with a call of action, and then you'll get scripts created for you to schedule that first listing appointment. Your introductory package, this is the secret sauce to the success of the ultimate expired listing system. I'm giving you worksheets that we have created to keep you organized through the process. And these how-to videos that we have created for those who need a little help with technology and how to use it is to your advantage. We also offer you a private Facebook group dedicated to those that use the system. If you have questions, this is where you will go. You want to network, this is where you go. And then we give you a bonus. We give to you the tools you need to create the profitable expired listing system. We are always offering bonuses for your accomplishments, extra training and support from the Kim Hughes team. We bring you over 80 years of combined real estate experience. Yes, we have that much experience. Ready to change your life? Ready to grow your business? Let's get started. Jump over to theultimateexpiredlistingsystem.com or visit kimhughes.com to learn more and how we can help you put this system in place.
Okay, now we're going to talk about your mindset. So a mindset to go, I know that agents tell me all the time, I get so overwhelmed hearing your podcast talking about do this and do that. And even though I'm telling you how to do it, it's still a struggle because, like I've always say, if you don't know how to do it, you don't know. And it could be something very simple, but if you ask, somebody is going to help you. And so that's where you kind of have to get into your mindset of, I don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be 100%. When I do my podcast and I'm videotaping, I'm sure everybody will agree that it's not as professional as it probably should be, but I'm okay with that because I'm not that person. I don't want to portray a personality that I don't have. So I'm an over the top type person. I'm pretty outgoing. I'm loud. I'm positive. I'm always looking for the silver lining. So that's just who I am. I mean, I get thrown problems all day long, and I have clients calling me, crying because something happened and they didn't know how to deal with it. And I'm so happy that I can help those clients and when we hang up, they feel better. I feel like I've contributed to making their day better and helping their business grow. So this is where you kind of look at, what do you need help with? And where is your mindset when it comes to your business? Are you serious about it? Are you willing to, get for the pain to come in a little bit because you gotta have a pain point. If you're not feeling a little pain, then you've gotta it's you're too comfortable, is the way I look at it. So what can you do to grow? What can you do to make your life easier? And what can you do to make your family happy with what you're doing? Because you want to be present for them as well. So maybe you sit down with your spouse and you talk about that strategy, like, okay, well, we both work and we have kids or we have the dogs or the cats or whatever. And, we need to split this up. And so when you and your spouse get together and you get on the same page of what the goal is, and then sitting down and strategically putting your steps in place on how you're going to achieve that goal, and you're both engaged on it, it's going to be better. It's going to be more successful because now your partner is in there and they're just rooting you on and willing to help any way they can, but then you also will do it for them. So it's a two-way street. And yeah, sometimes you're going to probably have more than they do, but then there's going to be times that they need more from you than they are giving. So it's one of those things where you just have to sit down and kind of figure it out. But you have to get your head into the game. You have to have that mindset of how am I going to achieve this? What do I need to do to make that happen? So that's where, you might even say, I've got to set some boundaries. Maybe what you say, and I support this 100%. You should not be talking on the phone after 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at the latest. If you get phone calls after that from clients, text message. I'm sorry, I'm not available at the moment. I'm spending time with my family. I'll be more than happy to call you in the morning, especially if it's not an emergency. And you kind of have to think about after 6 o'clock, what's an emergency, So pretty much anything can wait till the next day. So make sure that you put that priority in place and that your clients understand that there are priorities and there are boundaries that you have set for yourself. And that is also going to be good for your mental health. Okay, so then what we want to do is look at how do you, refine everything that you've done. It's called, measure it, and then you've got to refine it, and then repeat. And then you've got to do it again. So you're constantly always doing that. I've been doing this for 25 years. What I did 25 years ago and what I do today in my business, nothing alike. Maybe a couple of things, but pretty much nothing is alike because we don't have, at that time and over the years, as my business has evolved, I've had to adapt. I've had to take time and learn how to do something. I've had to take time and I look at everything every time I'm trying to learn something new that I can either integrate into my personal life or my business, then I look at it like if I'm going to read a book and it's going to take me 6 hours to read that book, I'm going to break it down over a certain amount of time, 30 minutes a day, and then it doesn't just consume me, right? But at the same time, I'm being respectful of my own time, and what can I get out of that book? So if I'm spending 6 hours reading that book, you better betcha I better walk away with something I can implement either into my personal or my business life. So that's what you look at is where do the best foundations fit that you're going to build, right? So, tracking your numbers and reviewing what's working and what's not working, and then making those small adjustments either monthly or quarterly is going to give you so much relief once you start seeing that working. So at first, you may be kind of clumsy and, say the first quarter, you don't have, you're creating systems, you're in the first quarter, the systems are quite not working for you. Okay, tweak them. Stop what you're doing and tweak them. Make notes, So for example, I walk around every day. I mean, everywhere I go, I have my notebook with me. And this is just a notebook that I have put together, and it's a little handheld notebook full of blank pages. And every day, as I'm talking to someone, or I'm thinking about something, or I hear something, I write it down. If I remember, oh, I've got to pick up my prescription tomorrow, write it down. Then at the end of the day, you can go through and see everything that you've written on that sheet of paper and then put it where it belongs, whether it's on your calendar, in your phone, etc. And yes, I do carry this everywhere I go. And if I can't carry it with me, I have my note app on my phone that I will put notes in. And then when I get back to the office, I take those notes out and I put them in my calendar or, wherever they need to be. So there's a great little tip, and that will save you a lot of headache throughout the day because you'll think, oh, I'll remember to do that. No, you won't. You'll forget because you'll get distracted with something else, and then you'll be thinking tomorrow night, oh my gosh, I had this great idea. What was it? And you won't remember it. So carry a little spiral notebook if you have to. Carry your phone with your notes app and make notes constantly of what you're doing. If you're driving down the road, hit the record button and talk to your phone and it'll go into your notes. And then when you get back, you can sit down and pull it all together, take 15 minutes and go through that, and you will be good to go if you are consistent. Okay. Because what I found is when I was writing everything down in my little notebook of things like, so if my husband is walking by and says, oh, we have dinner plans tomorrow night, okay, I'm going to write that down. I'm not focusing on it. I'm just going to jot it down in my notebook, put it on my calendar later, and put it in my phone. Done. But I am a paper girl. So I always have my planner and then I have what's on my phone. Those are my two things. So if you can do that, I think if you walk away with these 5 suggestions, you're going to feel so much better about where you are right now and where you're going to be. And, at the end of every quarter, make sure that you're reviewing and tweaking and implementing. Okay. That's all you got to do. And then, look at what you have accomplished so that you can feel good about what you're doing. Because anytime you spend in your business that's going to help you move forward, that's a win. Anytime you do something that's going to help you move forward in your personal life, that's a win. So take the time to treat yourself to being that business owner that you can be and build the foundations that you need for your business so that you can just be confident in what you're doing. And then when your clients see that you're confident, they're going to feed into that. And that's going to make you feel better about what you're doing. I know a lot of agents don't like this part of their business. They don't like to be in the systems. They don't like to be in the database. But this is where the money is. And, your database is your money. Instead of going and buying leads, tap into your database. You've heard me say that before, so do it again. Just go through your database and start making phone calls. So, I think that's all I have for you today. So, I hope that when you strengthen these areas, the stress kind of goes away, and that's what it is. It's you not having those foundations that's causing the stress because you're having to remember everything. So let's build those foundations. If you need any help, please feel free to reach out to me. I offer a 30-minute free consultation, so we can accomplish a lot in 30 minutes. So if you also need more help, if you'll click on the link below in the show notes or in the blog, you will find that there is a link to my 72 to-dos that might help you build those foundations. So go out and have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you know someone, and I bet you do, who would appreciate this podcast, please share it with them. As a reminder, this podcast can be delivered directly to your favorite device by using the subscribe links you can find in the show notes below or over at unstoppablerealestateagents.com. Remember, it takes as much energy to wish as it does to plan. Have a great day.